Hello everybody, my name is Gabriel and I'm broadcasting from Mission Trails here in San Diego, California. Again, my name is Gabriel. Before we begin, let me go ahead and apologize for the rodent residing on my upper lip here, but it is my homage to Men's Health in November. Today I'll be guiding you through a tour of the Old Mission Dam. Please feel free at this point to go ahead and insert all your dam jokes. Get them out of your system, go ahead. Okay, so again, I'm your dam tour guide, Gabriel. Please note to take all the dam pictures you want, and at the end of the tour, I'll answer all your dam questions. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the habitat of Mission Trails, particularly the areas surrounding the river. We'll talk about the inhabitants of Mission Trails from about 10,000 years ago until the present, and of course the dam, which brings us here. So what's so important about a dam? Why do beavers do it? Why do humans do it? Water, of course. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Okay, so here we are smack in the middle of a valley. Notice the batholithic rock formations behind me. These granite rock formations were formed into a V-shaped canyon over the course of several thousand years by the San Diego River, which originated in the Cuyamaca Mountains. Thanks to the water that passes through this valley, a riparian habitat is formed. Riparian habitat is simply an interface between land and a river or stream. As a result of the water, vegetation thrives, it becomes lush, and therefore humans and animals are drawn to this area as it gives life. Types of animals you might have seen back through here: deer, fox, mountain lions, birds obviously, small rodents like mice, birds like the heron, and so on and so forth. There are about 23 archaeological sites here in Mission Trails, dating back about 10,000 years roughly. So the furthest would be Paleo-Indian times, the Sandiquitos. Following them, the La Joyan cultures, which is about, I believe, 6,000 years ago, and then the Kumeyaay Indians, which were about 3,000 years ago. They were drawn to this area because of the water and vegetation and probably the wildlife they can hunt and gather. Several archaeological sites found contain stuff like matata, I believe it's called, sort of like a grinding mill for processing seed and food, stuff like that. Yeah, so the river, the water brings life. It's essential to life. It's a necessity. I think our next stop will be to have a look at the dam itself, to show you a little bit of what it looks like now. I'll try to give you an idea of what it looked like thousands of years ago. So here's a look at the actual dam. You can see behind me. It was constructed of granite boulders, probably from the batholithic rock formations that we saw before, and limestone mortar. This notch right here probably would have been a floodgate to control the amount of irrigation for the crops and whatnot. And on the opposite side of me, there would have been a smaller notch, and I'll take you over there in a second. There would have been a smaller notch for a grist mill, which was used to process food. So essentially they have a notch in there where a wooden wheel would turn, and it would be sort of into a narrow flume, and the power from the wheel would process food. So they'd use that grist mill to process grain and make food. Not exactly like a Cheez-It, but you get the idea. So let's walk over there while the battery in my camera still lasts, shall we? All right. Try to narrate as I go here without tripping. So as you can see, it's a pretty impressive dam. Try to get my myself in the shot here. So this is a perfect location for a dam to be built. The Kumeyaay Indians, well before this was constructed, used this exact site because there was a natural basin and formation of rock which sort of held a water. They used it for their community needs and their water, drinking water needs. So it was an ideal location to set up. So let's walk over to where that the grist mill would have been. As you can see, that construction of this thing is pretty stout still. That limestone stone mortar still going strong after all these years, and I'm not sure if there's been an effort to conserve it and rebuild it. I couldn't tell you. We're coming up on that where the grist mill would have been. So there you see the formation where the flume would have been, and a flume is nothing more than a narrow gully in which the river would pass through, and you'd harness power from it. You can see a little bit better of a view from right there. There you go. And as you can see behind me here, you got several people fishing. Obviously, this would have been a great source for food thousands of years ago. So you can see the reason in this desert why the wildlife and the indigenous people of the area would have been attracted to this particular region. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at some of that lush vegetation and the riparian habitat we talked about earlier, shall we? So I'll find a nice little quiet stream with some of the native plants, and we'll start there. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the riparian habitat. Right here along the dam, you'll notice very lush, swampy, sort of green scenery. You got what look to be ducks right there in the pond, sort of swimming around looking for food. Those are actually American hen, and they are often mistaken for ducks. But they are not. They're actually called an American coot. It's the family is called Rhydalia, or Rhyllida, maybe. This is the typical kind of wildlife you find along the riparian type habitat. And it's easy to see why the Kumeyaay might stick around here. Good hunting, good eating. Let's talk a little about maybe one of the plants that you might find in this area. Often mistaken for poison oak, you might find a wild California blackberry. And they're mistaken for the oak because of the 3 leaves. My prop has been smashed. It's not actually a wild berry, it's a blueberry, but it's all I had as far as props go. So you can see along this habitat, plenty of food, plenty of hunting, obviously water to drink. So it's no wonder why the birds, wildlife, and the Indians, even the Spanish missionaries were lured here to settle in this area. So the construction of the dam, I believe, was between 1813 and 1816. Ironically, when it was finished, they didn't really use it much. From what I understand, due to the secularization of the missionaries, there was really no need for it. So at the end of the day, I guess it was a bunch of hoopla over nothing. But to this day, you see that it's been preserved, and a lot of people visit the park yearly just to see what it's all about. I think we'll go ahead and take a moment to go to the other side of the dam, and I'll close out there and wrap it up. Okay, everybody, this is about the end of the dam tour. We talked a little bit about Mission Trails, a little bit about the habitat surrounding the area. We talked about some of the wildlife that you might find in the area and some of the vegetation. Talked about the purpose of the dam, why it was built. Took a small tour of the dam behind me. And of course, the purpose for the dam is the water. Water brings life. At this point, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Are there any dam questions? I didn't think so. You guys have a good night. Thanks for joining us today.